And we also have another healing potion. That seems to be about it. Now these chests you can't take with you, as you can probably assume. If you could, that would be amazing. Just think of all the crap you could fit in them. But unfortunately, this is not D&D, where you can just walk around with a huge chest. Okay, so we can go ahead and give the rapier to him. Now, I'm never really going to have a use for a rapier again, but just in the event, because we've solved this puzzle with the rapier, I'm going to hold on to it just in the rare event that we find a statue like this that requires a rapier. Now, I know for a fact that that's probably never going to happen. I don't remember any puzzle in the game after this that requires a rapier. However, as a new player, I wouldn't necessarily know that, so I'd say, well, this is really cool, I'm going to hold on to this now. I do like that it casts its own shadow. So that means that the moon is casting light. I'm kind of sad that we don't have a shadow, but that's okay. You can rest to heal wounds and regain energy by pressing the R button, the R key. We're going to go ahead and quick save and head down into the depths. This is the first time we've been in a dungeon in this game, which means that we might actually be in danger here. We don't actually know yet. However, we do see torches again, and torches are kind of nice. Torches also evidently are considered heavy weapons. Interesting. Or just the change in the increase that he's getting for heavy weapons just isn't enough of a change for it to really matter. Now we do have a poison spell that we can use, as well as a shock spell that we can use now. So we are finding quite a bit of nice spells today. The basics. I do like that they're giving you the basics very quickly in this game, as opposed to how it was in Legend of Grimrock 1, where the basics took quite a bit longer to basically find. Okay, Halls of the Dead. So we'll go ahead and take this torch just in case we need one. We will open this gate and travel forward. Hello. Strange monster. As we saw, poisoned it. So instead we'll switch to using lightning for now. So he's down. As I said, you always want to try and collect all of your thrown items. You also want to try and search out any extra enemies that are in an area so you can make sure you kill them, so they can't sneak up on you. I wouldn't say this is absolutely crucial, but it does help your survivability. So here we find our first firearms. Now, unfortunately, no one's really going to be using firearms. Maybe our Minotaur. But for the current time, we can assume that he's going to focus on throwing weapons. As we can see there, everyone's getting kind of hungry except for Fen. Fen's perfectly happy. Not starving at all. But let's go ahead and feed our insectoid some food. Let's have Govad eat something. Our Minotaur is probably starving, and our ratfolk friend here, not our ratfolk, our human friend here, our fox friend, is going to start getting slightly more hungry as time goes on. So here we can see we have another puzzle similar to the one we ran into before. You step on it, it closes. So before I solve this trap, I suppose? No, it's more of a puzzle than a trap. I'm going to, well, first pick up these boots, because leather boots, guys. Okay, so they have more protection by far. We're going to instead give these boots to Govad, and then we're going to level everybody. Your stats, you don't level up stats, your attributes. Now our heavy weapons, we're going to go ahead and try to max out heavy weapons for this guy. Mainly because I like the idea of having an offensive gameplay style, but also the sooner he maxes out heavy weapons, the sooner he can use two-handed weapons one-handed. And to me that's a bit more important than just basic defense. For this character I want him to be able to dual wield soon, so I'm going to put points into light weapons. And for Roland, we're going to put his points into throwing so he can chuck weapons, so he can throw two throwing weapons sooner. As we see, there's a zombie over there. We don't necessarily want to let them out first, but we do want to look around for any kind of secrets before we move on to the next area. So let's go ahead and scrape our faces against the wall, looking for anything that we can find. And see if there are any secrets that we may or may not have missed. Okay, so we know if we press this button, we know if we step there, it closes. Now we also know from Grimrock 1 that if you try to catch a door that's closing, it just closes and you can't get to it. So let's go ahead and make sure that we check everything here. Okay, I think that's everything there. Let's check the freestanding pillars. Nothing seems to be there. There's the crate there that had guns in it. And that seems to be about it. Okay, so let's quick save and head upstairs. And here we see that it is indeed a secret. We can sort of hear some more of the turtles. You might actually be more susceptible to poison than the other turtles. Unfortunately, if we're going to use poison, that means we kind of have to get him to stand there while it does its work. Now this is most useful used in conjunction with the poisons, with the force field spell. Because you basically lock an enemy in place, and then they basically have to stand in poison and die. Or take damage, I should say. We have our rock that we threw. We're going to give ourselves another one of the ether weaves here, and we will go ahead and try to see if there's anything here that we can pick up. There are some crabs, but the crabs don't seem to be affecting us at all. And here we see a locked chest. We can try to open as much as we want, but we can't. So what we're going to do is we're going to quick save. This brings up a mechanic of lockpicks. Whenever you see a locked chest, you can unlock it with a lockpick, but you don't necessarily know what is in it. Now in Iron Man mode, this basically means you are on Iron Man mode, single-use crystals. This means you pretty much have used your lockpick. I hope you like what you get. On this mode, however, we can quick save, and then basically, if we don't like what's there, we can quick load. So here we have a tribal mask, which increases energy +5, and it gives us protection +3. That might be worth it for Fen. We have a healing potion. So I'm going to go ahead and say that is probably worth it for Fen. I'm not entirely certain. I haven't looked through the gear in this game, but I'm pretty sure that should be okay. any energy we can give to the fox is going to help us out. Now, we've already sort of figured out this puzzle by just looking at it. We know if we put a rock here, to keep it depressed, we can then just walk on top of it. We've had our torch out for a while, so we're going to go ahead and swap it out. And if possible, we know that this is a bottleneck, and we would like for the enemies to come to us. We also don't want to get stuck in this room, so we want to kind of wait to see if we can lure any of the enemies to us with minimal danger to ourselves. Okay, so we seem to have one of their attentions. There he is. Oops. Okay, so we took care of him. Now let's see if there's anybody else in here. Does not appear to be so. Okay. So here we see we have an iron key. Okay, well we can give that to Govad for now. And we can also start scraping our face against the wall. So we didn't see any other enemies. If there are any, we will probably become aware of that as we are looking for any and all secrets. Okay, so there are no secrets there. Let's look at the freestanding structures. A freestanding structure, if you don't know, is just something that is not connected to a wall. So here we found the key, and it does not appear to be any kind of... There do not appear to be any kind of secrets right now. So here we have two zombies. There seems to be two major types of zombies. There's the kind that has their head down, and there tends to be these guys. I think these are the slappy zombies. Could be wrong. But basically there's two types. There's the slappy zombie, and okay, so that's the slappy zombie. The slappy zombies can do quite a bit of damage because they can hit multiple times. Multiples of those could be crits as well. But we'll go ahead and pick up all of our thrown items. And then we will scrape our faces against this wall as well, since I'm fairly certain we killed all of the enemies. So if we go up there now, we might miss something. So let's go ahead and look at this item. The Horn of Summoning. This horn has a pungent, earthy smell. That's what happens if you use it. It has a cooldown, so naturally you can use it. And has to be in your hand. Okay. Well, good to know. Okay, so you can hold a different item in this slot and still use it. So that's still good. Okay, so we came out here. It's telling us that we can indeed change our party formations. And we see a button there. Let's go ahead and look for any secrets that we can find. You always want to they're not necessarily secrets if you're supposed to find them. It just means they're hidden. I know that probably doesn't make sense to some of the viewers, but from a design standpoint, if the player is supposed to find something, it isn't intended to be particularly hidden from them. Okay, so we still saw something moving in there. Okay, so it's just a turtle. Sure can say, alright, Mr. Turtle. It's time for you to go. Okay, so we took care of him. Now, this